Hello, everyone. It's Miss Dark Shigo here, also known as the Lion Queen, whatever you guys are used to calling me. Today, the day I'm recording this, I have a really bad headache going on. So instead of doing a narration today, I am going to be doing a movie review. So the last movie review I did was called Burial Ground: The Nights of Terror, which, I mean, it's a mixed reviewed movie because I know some people didn't like it, but I decided today, since it's been almost a month since I've reviewed the movie called The Lion King, since I'm decided, you know what, I'm going to review the sequel because the sequel came out about 25 years ago. Well, will be by October. So I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and review this sequel to it, and that is called The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Now, when it comes to Disney sequels, there is some of them that manage to be good, and there's some that are actually quite decent. Some of them may not be perfect, but some of them are actually quite nice. And this one, called The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride, is one of the few movies of the Lion King movie, one of the few Disney sequels that manages to not suck. So I'm going to go ahead and, pretty much explain what the plot of the movie is about for any of you guys who are wondering what the plot of the movie is about. Most of you guys probably have seen this movie on VHS or DVD and would probably want a refresher. I'm going to go ahead and basically get started with that. So, I guess with that being said, um, if you guys don't want to hear any spoilers, I highly suggest you click off this video right now if you don't want to hear any spoilers. So, The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride, it is one of the best Disney sequels that manages to do something pretty good and does not suck. It's one of those films that I really find enjoyable. I actually like the second movie, which is this one, a lot better than the first one. Don't get me wrong, I like the first movie, but I found the second movie to be more enjoyable and more better than the original. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the original movie. Not gonna lie, that one was pretty good. But I prefer, the I prefer the sequel because the sequel of its own self, it's a great continuation to the first Lion King movie. I honestly am very impressed with how well made it is, especially with given the concept and stuff of its own self of it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it that. So, now, anyways, I guess I'm going to not wrap up the review, but I'm going to basically, get on with the plot of this film because I've been monologuing about it for about 3 minutes now. So, The Lion King to Simba's Pride, it's involving it involves Simba and Nala's daughter Kiara, who basically, is the daughter of Simba and Nala. She ends up befriending a outsider named Kovu. And Kovu, as a young cub, was, chosen by Scar. He's not the son of Zira, although there are theories about who Kovu's parents really is, if, you know, if Zira isn't the real one, which of course that's been something that a lot of people have been, having a bit of an argument about, like who was the pretty much who was Kovu's parents. I always thought that was Simba. No, wait, not Simba. I always thought it was, Scar and Zira, but after looking deeper into it, I realized that it wasn't them. So it could have been maybe somebody else, but it's not really properly explained, and there are theories about it too. So basically, Kovu, who is a young cub at the time, befriends with Kiara, Simba's daughter, and apparently his adoptive mother named Zira, who attempts to, pretty much trying to raise Kovu so Kovu could take over the Pride Lands and take back what was theirs because they were with Scar when Scar took over and the hyenas took over in the first movie, although you don't see them until the second film, which it will explain more. So, in this second movie, um, Kovu and Kiara become friends and everything seems going well, but eventually Kovu, who ends up getting more of Simba's trust, Simba, thinks that he backstabbed him when well, Zira along with her, you know, uh, her pride of lions attack Simba. This honestly results in Simba, exiling Kovu when Kovu and Kiara are both adults. So that revolves in Kiara leaving the Pride Lands just to go find Kovu. Eventually she does, and that's when the Outsiders and the Pride Landers have a war. Eventually though they came to realization and stuff about differences and stuff, although Zira still holds a grudge against Simba. But yeah, that's basically the plot of the movie. Is basically, you know, that's basically what the plot of the movie is about. Especially for any of you guys who haven't seen the movie in a really long time, or for those who want a refresher, and for those who have not seen the movie. Now, in my personal opinion, it's a really great sequel to the first Lion King movie. I mean, it's a really good sequel. I personally really enjoyed it, and I really do like the design of Kovu. I think he's like one of those lions that a lot of people who were, maybe teens or adults in the 90s or maybe even now today probably simp for him, which I have no problem as long as it's Kovu as an adult, not a cub or a minor, because that would not end well. But I personally like the idea. The whole plot line of this is pretty much Romeo and Juliet, but with, well, Lion King characters. Now, if you take a look at, the first Lion King movie, the difference in the first Lion King movie is the story. The first one movie is basically about, pretty much Hamlet but it's lion done in Lion King version of it. But in this sequel, it's pretty much Romeo and Juliet, but with Lion King characters and, you know, different plot line and stuff. I mean, I personally really thought it was a good movie. I mean, the acting's great, the animation was fantastic, especially for all the characters. And Simba looks a lot more older than he did in the first movie. Like in the first movie, he looked a lot younger and stuff, but in the sequel, he looks a lot more older. So that's actually quite neat. I really like the newer design of Simba in the second movie more than the first movie. I think the animation in the second one is just a lot better in my honest opinion. Don't get me wrong, the first one did great, but I like the second one a lot better though. The second one does have a great concept. It's a really good plot line in a movie, and I personally liked the idea that, that the first one movie, it's pretty much like Hamlet, but Disney version of Hamlet, and in this one, it's the second one is pretty much Romeo and Juliet, but Lion King characters. I personally do think that the songs in this one were pretty good as well. I think one of my favorites in the second movie was Love Will Find a Way. That's actually one of my favorites, as well as We Are One. Now, a fun fact, this is actually one of the movies that gave me inspiration to write the Daughter of Raven and Robin, because Daughter of Raven and Robin is pretty much a mix between Disney's Tarzan and The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, but it's mostly inspired off of Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. But some of it is, inspired by the Disney's Tarzan movie, which I will plan to review in the just channel sometime in the future. I mean, it's a pretty good film. Personally like The Lion King. It's a great film. There's definitely a lot of animation. I do like the actors that voice the characters. I thought it was pretty neat. So, because this is actually one of my childhood favorites, I personally recommend this Disney sequel film to anybody who's seen The Lion King. If you've seen the first movie and you have not seen the second movie yet, I highly recommend you check out the second movie. You will not be disappointed. The second movie is definitely one of the best Disney sequels ever made. I mean, I know Disney sequels, it's kind of on and off or hit or miss at some sort, because there's some Disney sequels that are not that great, some that are okay, but this is definitely one of the fewer Disney sequels that manage to not suck. And this is one of them that I personally really find enjoyable. I do like, the movie, especially when I was a kid. I have this on VHS and I still do, but, you probably have seen me, show off my first two Lion King films. And if you guys are going to ask me to review the one and a half, I'm considering and reviewing it because I don't know if my opinion on it has changed. Because if you guys saw on my main channel back in 2020, for those of you who stuck around since then, my review on the second movie, I absolutely, despise Lion King one and a half. I mean, it's pretty much like the first movie, but it's from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective, which is the main reason why I did not like the film. I'm probably going to give it another watch, and if my opinion's still the same, then I'll still review it, but it will just pretty much be me criticizing the movie, but you never know. I mean, sometimes there might be opinions that I might have for something or someone or whatever, and then in a few years from now it may change or whatever, or it may still stay the same. I guess it depends, honestly. So, I will also review The Lion King from 2019 because I do plan to review the remake of it in the future. I don't know when, but I do plan to do so. So, I give Lion King to Simba's Pride a 10 out of 10. It has got a great storyline. I mean, I like that the fact that it's based off of the Romeo and Juliet story because if you look at Lion King, it's pretty much based on the Hamlet story, the first movie. And in the second movie, it's pretty much Romeo and Juliet, but with Disney version, which I think that's pretty neat that Disney came up with that idea. So, if you have not reviewed or seen this movie, I highly recommend you watch this movie. I do remember Nostalgia Critic actually reviewed this movie, but I have not watched that video in a long time since I haven't watched him in ages. But he did, I remember he reviewed this movie, and for anybody who is a Disney fan, I highly recommend this movie. It's a great Disney film. Even though it came out the same year I was born in, which was 1998, I personally really recommend you guys check out this film. So, if you guys are Disney fans, I highly recommend you check this movie out. You will not be disappointed. It is definitely one of the Disney sequels that managed to do something good, and it managed to be a good movie. So I could definitely give it that. I guess with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to really say about this movie. If I am missing something, please let me know what it is in the comments below. So, I guess with that being said, and that being the case, yeah. What did you guys personally think of The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride? Do you like it better than the first one? Do you like the first one better than this one? Do you like them both equally? Do you not like this movie? What do you guys think in the comments below? And also, what would you have done to make the movie better? Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments below because I'll respect your opinion. If you do not like this movie, I respect your opinion regardless. And as always, I'm Miss Dark Shigo. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are new to my channel, be sure to leave this video a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when it uploads, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, if you are not subscribed to my main channel known as the Lion Queen, I highly recommend you do so. Link to that will be in the about page section of this channel. So for those of you guys who are not subbed to my backup channel, to my main channel, which is also known as the Lion Queen, be sure you do that. So yeah, and you can already find my review on this movie on my main channel as well. I did it in a Shadows and Pretties episode, but I also did a separate one in a movie review back in 2020. But that one in 2020 review I did was not really the greatest that I'd done back then, but hey, I mean, it's not terrible. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any suggestions on what movies I should review, like whatever it be a zombie film, a Disney movie, or a DreamWorks movie, or even a kids movie in general that is not related to Disney, let me know what it is in the comments below. And as always, guys, I'll be catching you all in the next video. And as always, I'll see you all next time.